Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second series of coronavirus survival strategies for your construction business. My name is Ariela Wagner. I'm the founder of SunRay Construction Solutions, and we have Alex Barthet, a construction board certified attorney. And today we're going to discuss additional needs that we have right now in the construction industry, new Family First Coronavirus Recovery Act that we need to discuss, as well as marketing tactics to assist your company in this possible down economy. So without further ado, I shall introduce Alex Barthet.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Alex Barthet. I am a board certified construction lawyer here in Florida. And today we're going to talk about updates regarding the coronavirus in the construction industry since our last presentation on March 25th. Specifically, we're going to talk about countrywide random police visits on construction sites, where we're seeing them and what you can do about it. We'll talk about some new Department of Labor clarifications, which came out since the last presentation we did on the Family First Coronavirus Recovery Act. And then with the only thing people are talking about as of yesterday and the day before was the new CARES Act and the forgivable loan component of it. And then, as Ariela said, she'll get into marketing your business. So let's get started with what we are hearing about things since March 25th, 2020. As you can imagine, there is a very bright spotlight that is being placed on construction as the market for just about every other product and service that may be deemed non-essential has come to a complete stop. People are at home. Construction is still going. So in places where you wouldn't hear construction because of a bit bustling city otherwise, now construction is very noticeable. And that has caused folks to complain to their politicians, wondering why someone is building something when they can't be a server at a restaurant or run their salon. So there's a lot of pressure being put on the politicians, as well as their own concern about maintaining the social distancing and other issues with respect to what's happening on the construction site. So what we're seeing is jurisdictions around the country, and we'll talk about some specific ones in South Florida, are stepping up actual enforcement, spot checking construction sites to ensure that CDC guidelines are being met on those sites. For example, Miami-Dade County and the city of Coral Gables are, as of Monday, inspecting job sites. And let's talk about what they're doing and what you can do to make sure that your job site is not shut down. So what we hear is that lunchtime is a big problem as folks gather. We are hearing more and more that contractors are turning away lunch trucks because it is a place of people congregating. That is not what you have to do, but some contractors are finding that's an easier way to just solve the problem. So let's talk about some suggestions. Think about staggering lunch breaks to limit folks from gathering. So it's not only the 6-foot distance between people, but it is also the no more than 10 people in a group meeting at once, even if they're 6 feet apart. You need to increase washing and sanitation stations everywhere on the job site, particularly at controlled entrances and exits. So if you are on a job site, large or small, and it has 1 or 2 or 5 entrances and exits, you need to make sure that those entrances and exits are monitored, and there is a wash station at that entrance and exit, and that someone is there ensuring that people are washing their hands as they come and go from the job site. You need to also have a wash station where you may be allowing people to eat lunch. And if you're working on multi-floor construction, you need at least a wash station on every floor. To the extent people are meeting or congregating, you need to visibly mark off 6-foot spacing requirements with cones or tape or anything that you have on the job site to make sure that folks are not bunching up together. Buck hoists, elevators, also a big problem. So you need to continue to maintain adequate space on a buck hoist. We're hearing that a 12 or 15-foot buck hoist is being only occupied by 6 or 7 people versus the dozen or 2 that would have been in there before. Again, you need to make sure that no more than 10 people are meeting, and the police or government officials want to see people using additional PPE. So people the workers should be wearing gloves. They should have a face mask of some sort, even if it's not an N95 mask. We talked about lunch trucks. Again, we're hearing folks turn away lunch trucks, but you don't have to. You can just tell your lunch provider that he or she needs to package everything individually. And having someone oversee all of this is absolutely critical, as well as having someone constantly cleaning high touch and high traffic areas. So here is a notice from the city of Coral Gables covering many of the things we just said. This is, again, one example. We are aware of this happening throughout South Florida and actually throughout the country. It goes over many of the things we just talked about. What is interesting as well is that we are finding that many of our clients who are subcontractors, delivery drivers, electricians, roofers, mechanical contractors, and even GCs are being asked either by owners or by the GC to ensure that the people that are on the site may not be exposed to COVID-19. So they are asking for signage on the job site with these last questions. That's item 14. Have you been asked to self-quarantine or been diagnosed with COVID-19? Have you experienced the recent onset of an illness-related symptoms such as fever, cough, shortness of breath? We're also hearing that many contractors are asking the subs, all the people on the job site, to fill out a form verifying this on a daily basis for everyone on the site. So be aware of that. And if you are managing a site yourself, either because you're the GC or because you're a sub and you have your own people, consider using these best practices and asking all of your team these questions on a daily basis. Let's talk about the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. By the way, before we move on to this, let me go back and mention one last thing about keeping your job sites open. You do not want to be the sub or supplier or delivery person who is employing someone who, because of lax oversight or not paying attention, causes a job site to be shut down. It is very important that you do what you need to do to make sure that your team is complying with the requirements. So to the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, it is effective as of today, 500 employees or less, and it applies to you. And it is rather complicated, but I'm going to give you the short version and give you some resources where you can get some more information. Generally speaking, it applies to those employees who, because of a child at home, because they either have COVID-19 or experiencing COVID-19 symptoms and are looking to get tested, or they are giving care to someone who has COVID-19, they are entitled to up to 80 hours, 2 weeks of paid leave with various caps on those payments. It's either a portion of their paycheck or a certain amount every week. You can get more very detailed information on this. I spent the better part of 45 minutes talking to the former area director for the U.S. Department of Labor in a second interview after the Department of Labor posted more guidelines on this. You can go to the lienzonepodcast.com and find the most current interview with George Rivero and listen to that podcast. And we go through various examples in great detail about when folks are entitled to leave, with pay, without pay, when you can fire someone, when you can't fire someone. There's a tremendous amount of good information at the Department of Labor website, dol.gov/agencies/WHD/pandemic. Lots of information there, Q&As, as well as the poster that you need to post at your job sites and in your office regarding the Family First Coronavirus Response Act. Okay, so let's talk about the CARES Act, which just went into effect. It has lots of parts to it. I'll run through them briefly. Every American can receive up to $1,200 per person, $2,400 for a married couple, and $500 per child, subject to income caps. It extends unemployment benefits through 12/31/2020. It delays a portion of having to pay payroll taxes. So if you're an employer, normally you have to pay payroll taxes rather frequently. You can now defer those payroll taxes interest-free into 2021. You should talk to your accountant about that. I'm going to skip towards the bottom. There are many other tax-related benefits for companies that may apply to you. Interest expense limitations, excess loss limitation rules that are extended, tax cut and under the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. Very technical stuff. You need to talk to your CPA and see how that applies to you and how you can benefit. Let's briefly talk about what most people want to know about, which is the Payroll Protection Program, the PPP, which is $350 billion dedicated to preventing layoffs and business closures with what are effectively grants. So if you apply, because it applies to you, which is companies with 500 employees or fewer, and you maintain your payroll, you can receive up to 8 weeks of cash flow assistance, and you can borrow up to $10 million with no collateral, no guarantee, and very, very low interest. I think it's 3.5%, maybe 4%. And a significant portion of what you borrow can be used to pay rent, mortgage interest, and payroll, which may be completely forgiven. So it's effectively free money from the government. What do you need to know about this? And probably the single most important thing to know is that it is currently set up on a first come, first served basis. So it's important that you get all your information together so that you can apply right away when the application is open. I have found the most useful resource for this is at the U.S. Chamber. If you go to uschamber.com/co/small-business-coronavirus, great resources on this and many other issues related to the CARES Act and other places where you can get money for your business. I will leave you with a positive note. As the author Robert Tu said, the struggle we're in today is developing the strength you need tomorrow. So keep your chin up, keep working hard. This too shall pass, and you will be better for it in the long run, I promise. And with that, I turn it over to Ariela.
Thank you so much, Alex. And I completely agree. And this is why we're also talking about your marketing your businesses. Today, I'm going to discuss two main topics that are very, very simple for you to either do on your own or you could certainly reach out to CMG, which is Construction Marketing Gurus, a sister company of SunRay Construction Solutions. The topics today that we're going to discuss that are extremely important for your business right now, and the future of your business, because as Alex said, and I have said many, many times, this too shall pass, and you need to be ready. The two discussion points are the PPC campaign, which is your pay-per-click campaigns, and email marketing. So the first one that we're going to talk about here are adapt to the changing customer behaviors. These are some really great stats on online ads. So online ads increase brand awareness by 80%. 90% of desktop searches happen on Google. 73% of paid search market share belongs to Google. 65% of small to mid-sized businesses have a PPC campaign. So these are stats that are very important for you to realize that, yes, that while this horrible, abominable coronavirus, and it's just deplorable, is happening right now, you really need to make sure you are prepared in another 60 days when this is, God willing, done and over with. 46% of clicks go to the top 3 paid ads in search results. 40% of brand increased their PPC spending in 2019. So let's talk about the staying connected to your customers. More than ever, you want to reach out to your customers. Our lives have clearly changed overnight. So did our customers' online behavior, buying behavior. In the construction industry, this is actually right before the coronavirus, major technological changes have been happening. People putting on their online stores, their shopping carts, similar to what you have on an Amazon, service tickets, doing things that are more innovative with technology, but using marketing tactics and integrating it with your operations process. So with changes happening in the PPC world, which is your pay-per-click world, and construction industry, you need to closely observe the latest trends and react immediately to them, or you will fall behind. I strongly believe that the way we do business as well as market our businesses, it's going to forever change because of the coronavirus. So be prepared to market your businesses accordingly. Update campaigns with new search terms and volume. So what does that mean? The COVID crisis has caused an increase of people in the construction industry to stay at home. So and obviously, even if they're even at work, but it has changed the way we think. So as I said before, if you have an online shop, an online cart, similar to what we're all doing now with Amazon, is buying things online, having them shipped to our home, that's going to be, that in our future, we're going to see a major change in how we do business in the construction industry. So make sure you have your website set up correctly. When people want to request information, make sure that you have a correct contact form online. With the company's name, the contact information. The align bids and budgets to suit the latest trends. So surprisingly, mobile traffic has fallen since the start of the lockdown. So the current bidding strategy, which might have been easily targeted by mobile devices, is now going to change. So some additional statistics here. For every $1 you spend on email marketing, you can expect an average return of $42. Obviously, we have to do more research on your company and the products. It could even be more, could be less. 42.3% of consumers will delete an email if it isn't optimized for mobile. Conversion rates for emails are higher than social media, direct traffic, and search. 81% of businesses say the email drives customer acquisition and 80% for retention. 59% of marketers cite email as their number one source of return on their investments. Email offers results in shoppers spending 138% of their purchases. Personalized emails can produce a transaction rate of 6 times higher than those of the marketing, just regular emails. So let's talk about making your stand stronger through emails. We all know we've received emails. It says coronavirus, and you look at it and you're like, I can't read another email about corona or COVID. So everyone is a lapsed user. So let's go into this. Obviously, it's a topic I'm very passionate about. So there's so much to discuss. As the pandemic creates a tremendous fears in the construction industry, business owners, the marketing department, sales departments are left confused about what crisis means to your email marketing strategy. So you can continue to send promotional emails, or do you need to really rethink your messages? So some ideas you might want to put out there are, we are thinking of you during the coronavirus. You want to come up with subject lines that matter to your customers. Otherwise, people will just delete them. Everyone is a lapsed user. The truth is that sales across the country have slowed down. You must take into account the present sentiments of your customers and communicate something on the lines which strikes their emotions. So focus on optimization. Many brands might be sending out messages daily or weekly, but you need to analyze what is right for your brand and how willing are your customers. You must closely monitor the email, observe opening rates based on the message you're sending. Just sending emails is absolutely irrelevant. You want to make sure your open rate and who's reading your emails. And that impacts how you change your next email follow-ups in your subject heading. Don't neglect the subject line. I keep saying that, but it's extremely important. While we quickly put together relevant information, send out emails, people often forget the attention to that subject line. So please make sure that that's a focus point for your email marketing. And last but not least, need help with your digital marketing. We can assist if you do not know how to do that. Generate leads, content strategy for top SERP, increase conversions on your social, stay in touch with your customers by using these email strategies, and provide seamless user experience through your website. So these are some of our services, and if you have any questions, we would be happy to assist you with any of your marketing. But again, it's crucial that you stay in touch with your customers, and this will pass. So do not think that it won't. So make sure that you're on top of your sales and marketing for the future. And at this point, we could take on any questions. You can ask them on the right-hand corner of the question box. And so far, we do not have any questions. This presentation will be online, and we will also give it any of the URLs that you need for the loans or information regarding the job sites. Everything will be handed out to everyone within the next business day. So Alex, is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, we're good. We covered it all. If anyone has any other questions, feel free to send us an email afterwards.
Okay, thank you everyone, and I hope you have a sunny day.